So yesterday, we had a World War III scare. Fears were all over Twitter because you had a missile. The original reporting was that it was a Russian missile that entered a NATO country, Poland, and ended up killing 2 civilians. So obviously everybody's like, whoa, hold on. Now this is different. This is going after a NATO country. So, Article 5 can be invoked, which means, the collective defense of NATO versus Russia for, yet another act of aggression, this time against a NATO country. But as the day went on, there were some developments in the story that cooled down the temperature a little bit. So first of all, Russia came out and denied it and said that wasn't us. And then there was a Pentagon press briefing that I saw where the Pentagon official said, we cannot confirm the reporting that we've seen, and basically, we don't know what happened yet. And then Biden comes out later in the day and says that preliminary investigations show that, it wasn't Russia that did it or something to that effect. So, we kind of dodged a bullet, right? What actually happened, I genuinely have no idea. Was it, Russia accidentally did it? That's possible. Was it Ukraine accidentally did it? That's possible. What are the specifics? I genuinely have no idea. Did somebody go rogue and do it on purpose? I don't know. But obviously, it was a big deal. So, Newsweek says the following here. World War III concerns flood Twitter after Russian missiles reportedly hit Poland. It's the first time I'm reading this article, by the way. As reports emerged on Tuesday that a Russian missile struck a Polish village, killing 2 people, some social media users shared concerns about the possibility of World War III. A U.S. official confirmed the strike to the Associated Press Tuesday afternoon, but more details about the strike remained unknown. Polish authorities were holding an emergency meeting due to a crisis situation, but did not immediately comment on the reports. Polish media reported that 2 people died after the strike in the village of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, located near the Poland-Ukraine border, according to the AP. Poland is a member of NATO. Any NATO member state may invoke Article 5 in the event of an attack, which would draw an international response from other members, including the United States. World War III quickly began trending on Twitter amid these reports, with some users raising concerns about the possibility of a heightened military response. However, Poland has not invoked Article 5, and doing so would not automatically trigger World War III. Okay, so it's a more deliberative process than that. And I think they did some sort of an investigation to try to get better answers. Quote, I didn't have World War III on my list of existential crises this week, tweeted Colorado Sun reporter Jesse Aaron Paul. 3 first name having ass, as I would call him. Jesse Aaron Paul. Jeez. Why don't you like a Bob in there? Jesse Aaron Paul Bob Steve. I only like first names. World War III is maybe breaking out, and I am here clicking on accounts' verified checks to see whether they're officials or Twitter Blue subscribers. Today's Twitter challenge, do not predict World War III and instead let diplomats do their work. What else we got? Senior U.S. intelligence official says Russian missiles crossed into NATO member Poland, killing 2. Many people now mentioning triggering Article 5. We must all keep calm and a collected head here. Putin wants World War III. He's in this war until the end. We cannot give him that. Okay, so they wrap up the article here and say, the strikes mark the first time since Russian President Vladimir Putin launched the war in February that missiles have crossed the borders into a NATO member state. It comes after a Ukrainian energy official warned Russia's latest attacks against Ukraine's infrastructure could affect the Eastern European nation's neighbors. Pentagon Press Secretary Patrick Ryder said on Tuesday, U.S. defense officials are aware of the reports and committed the U.S. to defending NATO. When it comes to our security commitments and Article 5, we've been crystal clear that we will defend every inch of NATO territory, he said. So anyway, at this point, again, we don't really know what happened. And so everybody was jumping to conclusions, and it's a scary situation, and they were, venting that. But as of now, when I'm talking to you guys, it looks like it's been de-escalated a little bit between Biden's comments saying, we're not sure exactly what happened here, where the missiles came from. I don't know if they're just doing that because they want to sort of avoid the chain of escalation, which, even if they are doing that, I think that's a good thing, or if they're actually genuinely unsure if it came from Ukrainian forces or Russian forces, or it was a mistake, or whatever the case is. But, let's hope it's not Russia doing it, and it's like a test, you know what I mean? Like a let's see how much we can get away with here type shit. Because that would be bad, because then that would incentivize further Russian action like that. And look, we're playing with fire here, man. This is not good. I mean, the fact that, and you know what got more eyeballs than this story is that Ticketmaster apparently went down as Taylor Swift like released concert tickets or some shit, and so everybody was pissed at Ticketmaster, and it's like that got more coverage and eyeballs and talk than potential World War III. And it's like, I don't know, man, our priorities seem a little off there. But I hope the situation can get under control. I hope this isn't, a sign of things to come. But yet again, another, creepy afternoon. This reminds me of when, remember, we had all these tweets and articles and warnings of like Japan has missile sirens going off because North Korea fired missiles at them, and oh my god, take cover, and we were all like, holy fucking shit, and it only lasted like 10 minutes before we realized it was another missile test. But you had that moment of like, this is World War III, Sometimes following the news can really give you an aneurysm, because you get moments like this every now and then that are terrifying, and I just don't think human beings are intelligent enough or evolved enough to really have these sorts of weapons in existence. It just feels like we ain't there yet. We're not evolved enough yet to be able to handle this kind of weaponry. And, but it exists. And that's a bad sign. So this has been de-escalated a little bit to this point. I guess we'll get more news and information on who exactly it was and why they did it and all that stuff. But as of right now, this is what I got for you. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.